Hey guys, I am just going to do a quick video about my knee injury that I had last year, as I get asked by quite a lot of people what sort of happened and how I did it, and I've sort of spoke to a couple of people who have had a similar problem or the same sort of problem. So basically last February I was at a sort of exercise class sort of thing, doing body conditioning, and we were sprinting. I was obviously sprinting, and as I got to the wall to turn around, I turned too quickly and my leg just sort of didn't agree. Don't quite know what happened, but yeah, it sort of went horribly wrong. That's why I don't exercise, because it leads to injuries. But yeah, so from that from that I did injure my knee. At first, like, the hospital was sort of like, oh, it's okay, don't worry, like, you've just got knee pain. It's just a common thing within teenagers and stuff like that. So sort of, I think I had to go to A&E like twice or whatever, because I was really struggling with it. I couldn't walk properly. And then from March right the way through until October, I was going to physio like once every 2 weeks or so. And it took them about 5 months to actually figure out what was wrong and why I couldn't walk properly, and obviously why I was in so much pain. And it was something to do with my lateral collateral ligament, which runs down sort of like, I can't even show you, like runs down the outside of your knee here. And I also have an irritable IT band, which runs from your hip down to your knee. I'm not standing back up again. Yeah, so I had a problem with both of those, and it was the most irritating thing I have ever known. Like, I've had so many injuries over the years, because I used to dance, I used to play football, I used to run. So I've had my fair share of injuries to do with my legs, but this was probably, well, it was by far the worst one I've ever had. I was on crutches 6.5 months, and for the first 5 months of me being on crutches, I wasn't actually walking flat-footed. I walked on my toes for 5 months, which was absolutely awful. Probably should never have done that, but it was the most comfortable thing and the most comfortable way for me to sort of be trying to walk with the crutches. And then in July last year, I got a leg brace from my friend Connor. It's, oh Jesus Christ, it's actually quite heavy. It's this great big thing. It goes from like your hip all the way down, and here is like all the mechanical side of things. I can sort of limit and control how much I could bend and straighten it, because at first, well, for the first 5 months before I got that, I couldn't bend my knee properly, I couldn't straighten it fully. It was just absolute nightmare. And then I had that, and I remember, like, I went to Birmingham to go and get it from him. And when I put it on, like, I remember ringing my mum, and I was like, Mum, what the hell do I do? Like, it's forcing my foot flat on the floor, and I hadn't walked flat-footed for 5 months, so that was absolutely terrifying. I was like, I don't know how to walk with it. I didn't know how to walk properly, sort of thing. So sort of put it on in the train station, and then I was with my friend Leah. I was sort of just trying to walk around the bull ring with that great big thing on my leg, forcing my foot flat, and obviously I still had my crutches. But it was quite a shock having no choice but to walk with my foot flat on the floor, which was quite painful at first, but then as the sort of like days and weeks went on, I got so much more used to it. And then I think it was within the first week or two of September, I actually like just got rid of my crutches completely. I took them back to the physio department at the hospital and sort of said, like, yeah, hey guys, I don't need them anymore, that's it, I'm done with them. They wanted me on them until February this year, so that would have been an entire year on crutches. and that would have just been horrendous. I didn't go out really whilst I was on the crutches. I didn't go on a night out for 4.5 months, and anyone that knows me knows I like to go out. And I got into a really bad way of thinking about things. I got very negative about everything because I couldn't do things that my friends were doing. Like, for the first 4 months I didn't go on a night out. We had a trampoline arena park thing open, and I used to go with my friends, but I used to have to sit on the side and watch, which was probably one of the most frustrating things, not being able to do what your friends are doing. So sort of got myself in a really bad mental state of thinking like, oh, I can never do anything the same as all the other teenagers my age, this, that and the other. I just got myself really sad. I used to cry pretty much every single day to my mum or my friend Rory. And yeah, sort of like, once I overcame that mental block of me saying like, you can't do it, Courtney, because you might hurt yourself, I sort of got over it and was like, do you know what, go do it. If you hurt yourself, you know not to do it again. And then sort of from September, the second week in September to like, I think it was the first or second week in October, I was walking just with the leg brace on. And it started out like, I'd do very short walks around the house, well, around my bedroom, which is like a little box room. I did tiny little walks, tiny steps, and I remember like when I took my first steps without the brace on, I actually cried because I was just so happy with myself. I was so proud of myself. And when I went back to physio, just before I got discharged, she couldn't believe it. She was like, when I went in without my crutches, she's like, I cannot believe it, like, what's going on? She's like, I'm so happy for you, because she said a lot of people just don't do it, they don't push themselves. And I started at the gym in September, sort of off my own back, because I wanted to strengthen my leg, I wanted to get rid of the leg brace, I wanted to be back to normal, that's the one. So I did that, got myself back to normal sort of thing, so I could walk and everything. And then I didn't go to work. Well, I did. I started back at work in November, but because I was sat sort of like on tills all day, it aggravated my ligament a lot, and they've put me back into physio, which has sort of backtracked me a little bit. I got really stressy about having to go back to physio, because to me that's like, oh no, you're taking steps backwards, you're not progressing anymore, and sort of things like that. And that was at the start of this year. Well, probably about a month ago they put me back into physio, because I couldn't cope with where I was working. So they've had to put me back into physio, and they're now trying to sort of find out what the problem is, because there's nothing wrong with my ligament anymore, but there's still a problem because I'm still getting knee pain. But yeah, basically it was a hell of a long-winded injury and a long-winded recovery, but you sort of, I don't know, you just have to push yourself through it. As much as it's annoying, like, you'll be thinking, oh, for God's sake, like, I can't bend my knee properly. You'll try and do it and it'll hurt, and then you're like, no, that's it, I'm not doing it anymore, it hurts, that's it, I'm not doing it. But you have to keep on trying. You have to push yourself, otherwise you won't get any better. And I know from first-hand experience that being on crutches and being in a leg brace is the most frustrating thing in life. Well, it is when you have a knee injury. It is so beyond frustrating, and a lot of the time people don't understand, especially like when we're quite young, they don't understand the sort of like, oh well, just do physio, you'll get better. It can be as easy as that, but mine hasn't been. There's now been more complications, of which they've now got to try and solve. Yeah, it's just an absolute pile of crap, to be perfectly honest. But the only thing I can say is just keep pushing yourself, keep at it, because your knee will get better, it will go back to normal. Just take it very easy, take baby steps, but keep pushing, don't give up on it, and it will get better eventually. Thank you for watching, guys.